Hello there friends, CSGO Live here. In today's video, everyone is already tired of Kassad. CS2 got a new update that broke all the smokes. Tier-2 scene is all over fixed matches, interviews from Blade, Donk and a lot of other interesting things. And in the end, blast matches. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. And I think we shall kick off today's video with Blade, who offered some advice for teams looking to set up their game. So according to the coaching legend, the first thing is not to build a team around star players, but rather to focus on establishing shared goals and working towards realizing those, rather than emphasizing individual things. This approach is basically why NaVi, which initially seemed quite unreliable, is now delivering such impressive results. Each player on the team strives to compensate for each other's weaknesses while highlighting their own strengths. And guys, it's been a while since Cloud9 made it to our news, but they've recently come close to catching up with NaVi, or should I say more precisely, NaVi Junior. Yes, the youth squad of NaVi is outperforming Cloud9, which honestly isn't surprising since the young team has won 10 out of their 12 matches. Often, by the way, securing top spots in tournaments like United 21 League, as well in the second division of EPL and ECA Advanced. Guys, it wouldn't be surprising to me if top teams soon will start showing their interest in NaVi Junior players, just like it once was with m0NESY. And yeah guys, by the way, don't forget to follow our Twitter, the link is in the description, and I advise you to do this because we post all the hottest news and breaking things there. So yeah, just click on it and follow right now. Thank you. Speaking of young talents, we can't miss out about Donk sharing about his team's form before the Blast World Finals. He mentioned that the team took about a 10-day break to rest and then hit training hard to get into the shape. Donk emphasized that they focused significantly on improving both in-game and out-of-game communication to address issues that arose during their last successful tournaments. Donk also speculated about what's coming next year. He believes that he will perform more consistently and confidently compared to the latter half of this year, where honestly his stats varied widely from one tournament to another. He feels that he could have performed better and that many of the matches they lost could have ended differently if his performance had been more stable. However, he concluded by saying he's very pleased with this year's results, which is understandable to be honest. It's hard to be unhappy when you set a record and won IEM Katowice, being just 17 years old. G2's Hunter also responded to a similar question about the team's recent performance. According to the Bosnian player, the main goal for the team right now is to regain confidence after a disappointing showing at IEM Rio. He mentioned that the team aims to go as far as possible in the upcoming events, and if they face difficulties and get eliminated, they'll immediately resume training. As he puts it, there is no time for the tears of defeat because the RMR is just around the corner. Hunter also commented on Niko's less than stellar performance at IEM Rio. He revealed that Niko was unhappy with how he played, but is adept at moving past negative moments and continues to train regardless of the tilt or disappointments from the losses. Hunter praised Niko as currently the best rifler of the game and mentioned that despite this, Niko is continuously working to improve even more. He also, let's say, shared a secret that Niko's upcoming performance at Blast will be just great, so I guess guys, we will see. And my friends, let's wrap up the interview section with Jackz. He expressed great joy when he was invited to play at a LAN event, his first since his last game at EPL in March of the previous year, for Vitality also. Jackz noted that he generally performs much better at LAN events and was truly delighted to receive an offer from Vitality. Moreover, Jackz declared that he is ready to play at a professional level for a few more years despite being 32. Because, you know, a lot of people think that it's time to retire from esports at such an age. Jackz disagrees with it, and he is basically eager to prove his capability through his performance. Vitality plays today, so we will see. It's not time yet to jump to the matches because we have a lot of transfer news to talk about. And first we will talk about NBK, another legend of the pro scene, who finds himself teamless once again. Since June this year he had been playing for Revenant, a team that also includes Nivera, the legendary brother of Scream. But focusing back on NBK, it turns out that his stats were significant significantly declining recently, leading to his eventual replacement. And my friends, this might be indeed a sign that it's time for him to consider ending his career, as it will be increasingly difficult for the Frenchman to find a new team. Don't forget to pay your respects in the comments below. Roster changes also affected BC.Game. In our last video we mentioned that players from unpaid Bleed had already found new teams, and BC.Game was the first to announce their new player, Jackz. Despite all his accomplishments, this seems like a somewhat strange decision, to be honest, especially given the reputation of this org. However, on the other side, considering that players like Guardian and Lacro are currently on the team, maybe this move is simply a way for Jackz to comfortably wrap up his career, surrounded by veteran players like himself. Regardless, we're glad to see that Jackz has found a new team, so good luck. And now, my friends, let's talk some comedy. As you know, as we've previously told, the Bleed roster unpaid has disbanded. And now Kassad, left with no coaching responsibilities, has a lot to say. We're just here to talk about it because, you know, it's important and Kassad is still a figure in the CS scene. Guys, don't get it close to the heart, just have some fun together with me. So, starting with something relatively light, according to the Analysts, this major Faze will either make it to the finals or drop out at the armor stage. Kassad links this to the team's inconsistency of this year and hints that they might, arrive at the tournament either completely demoralized or just on a winning streak that could carry them forward. Interestingly, he sees the latter as more likely, especially since Faze's first match at the Armors is against the even less stable Cloud9, which could lead to an easy win for Faze, and then they will gain momentum. Kassad also tried to predict Astralis' performance. He said that they will have a total flop at the Armors, mainly due to their poor track record against the Eastern European teams, because they have 5 Eastern European teams in their group. While there is some merit to this argument, it's also important to note that Astralis are integrating a new player in their team, and they were just underperforming against all of the teams, not only Eastern European ones. And then, speaking of the Eastern European region, Kassad mentioned that an analyst and journalist's job is to create memorable content, not just to record minimal information interviews like those with Jackz. This comment quickly drew a response from Overdrive, one of the best Eastern European insiders and scouts. He basically said that he prefers a few words from Jackz over a million words from Kassad. Lastly, Kassad shook the Tier 2 scene by claiming that currently there are no Tier 1 teams that can be called excellent, describing the game itself in terrible shape, and the Tier 2 scene as a corrupt dumpster of match fixers. And he also believes that CS is done because there are no huge content creators besides Pixel. Well, thank you, Kassad, we're trying to do our best. It's not that easy, you know? And here, furious analyst Innershine underlined it all. He said that the main downside to Kassad no longer having a team is that he now has a lot of time to spread such thoughts within the community. Guys, what do you think about Kassad and his personality? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Now, Cooper, Freakazoid's brother, addressed the latest issues surrounding the Tier 2 scene, particularly the words Kassad said about match fixing all over Tier 2, 3 and 4 levels. Cooper says that these claims create a false impression that all players at these levels are involved in match fixing, which he strongly disagrees with. He says that basically even at lower levels there are players who are honest and refuse to take part in match fixing. Moreover, Cooper asked anyone with evidence of match fixing to come forward and share this information publicly. He emphasizes this need especially since ESIC, Esports Integrity Commission, may not always take action, but at least the community should be aware of the dishonest players. Additionally, Stamina also spoke on this topic. He recalled an incident where he submitted evidence of a fixed match that allegedly led to a $100,000 win at a betting website. However, when the media approached the betting website, they just denied such a payout. So Stamina suggested that often bookmakers might protect dishonest players for their own benefit, which is why basically we have a lot of fixed matches. On a brighter note, according to Stamina, the player involved in this incident has since moved to Valorant. Moving away from player-focused topics, let's discuss something more directly related to the gameplay itself. Just the other night, Valve released an update that effectively nullified half of the smoke nades used in the play. Basically, Valve decided it was time to adjust the jump height. And now, because the character models jump 1.16 units higher, some smokes calculation is just no longer working. As with higher jumps, the jump throw trajectory just breaks. Moreover, due to this new feature on some uneven surfaces, the character model may unintentionally hop a bit. So if you press the jump key on some stairs, you just can slide. This update also impacted the demos again. Because, guys, just listen, all the smokes have simply disappeared from the recordings. Moreover, at the end of the game, one might accidentally activate no-clip and fly upwards. Yet, fortunately for players at Blast, the tournament will be played on the older patch, so well-practiced nade throws will not be affected. And yeah, my friends, finally, speaking of the devil, let's dive into the Blast World Finals. And the opening match was a showdown between NaVi and Astralis. Once upon a time, when CSGO was in its heyday and players didn't retire as early, this matchup could have been dubbed as the real El Clasico of Counter-Strike. And although Device is the only player from that era still in the game, this match is sure to be memorable, because well, let's dive into it. And the game kicked off on Nuke, which was Astralis' pick. Despite the usual delay before the match, the action started off briskly. Astralis quickly took control, pushing to a 5v2. And then they just finished off the remaining NaVi players. However, guys, even in this round, Astralis almost lost their significant advantage, as IEM managed to take down 3 opponents with the Berettas. And you know what came next, guys? The situation worsened for NaVi. For example, at 5-1, a favorable 4v3 situation for NaVi suddenly ended when the players just got stuck in a doorway. Staven didn't hesitate. Problems only escalated after the side switch, as Astralis took the CT side, which is considered stronger on Nuke, and then they clinched the pistol round. More precisely, Staven did it. He secured 4 frags, single-handedly. It seems that Staven is truly ready to showcase the capabilities of Danish CS. And you know what, guys? Staven continued to destroy NaVi, taking a crucial 1v2 in just a couple of rounds later. Wow, nice play! And NaVi managed to secure their first round on the attack only when their opponent was on match point. Bit cleverly maneuvered through Heaven, disrupting the Danish setup. However, in the next round, NaVi made a costly error, particularly when JL decided to push Vents, where 2 Astralis players were positioned already. So Astralis just did a retake and claimed their map pick. The next map was Mirage, NaVi's pick. Following a tough loss on the first map, Nadas Vincere were expected to make a comeback here and assert their top-tier status. IEM opened the map with an impressive quadro kill in the pistol round, single-handedly securing B-side. After that, NaVi started building their economy and accumulate rounds, while Alexibi pulled off a 1v3 because the Astralis players just forgot to buy a defuse kit, and Alexibi cleverly used his Molotov. However, then NaVi faced difficulties. They lost 7 consecutive rounds and appeared very weak on their map pick. After the sides switched, problems continued for NaVi, and Astralis kept accumulating rounds. I can't believe I'm saying this. Bit had a chance to turn the game around at 11-5, but unfortunately he just ran out of time. A very strategic play by the Danish team. In the following round, the same Bit single-handedly took B and then secured the first round for his team. However, in the next round, Astralis just claimed their opponent's map pick, pulling off a real upset. So, for the first time in 12 tournaments, NaVi lost their opening match. However, JL hinted that the setback is just temporary and assured that NaVi will soon make a comeback and eventually easily win. The second match of the day featured a clash between Mouz and Faze, starting on Inferno, a map that's become a signature pick for Faze. The game didn't start well for them as Surgeon secured a quadro in the pistol round and single-handedly shot down the opponents. Following this, the game lacked major highlights and evolved into a back-and-forth action where the teams just were exchanging rounds, initially tipping in Faze's favor. However, towards the end of the first half, Mouz managed to put themselves together and even won the half with a score of 7-5. After switching sides, the momentum shifted towards Faze as they won the pistol round and the following force buy, even leading to the first full buy round. However, Brolin was excellent in a 3v5 situation. In the next round, Brolin again shifted the course of the game by single-handedly opening the B side. The match then became even more intense, with the rounds being decided in the micro moments and clutches. This led to overtimes on the first map, which Mouz completely dominated after losing the first one. They just won 4 consecutive rounds and won the map. The next one was Nuke, picked by Mouz. They started strong by taking a series of 3 rounds, after which Faze managed to gain some ground by also securing a series of rounds. Nonetheless, towards the end of the first half, Mouz regained control and won the half. On the T side, despite the initial dominance by Faze, it all came to Mouz again, just when they had enough money. It all started with Suyuhi making a triple kill. It even escalated to the point when Frozen mimicked Niko slamming the table several times. But ultimately, Mouz claimed their map pick and set up a match against Astralis. While in the elimination match, Faze will meet NaVi. The third match of the day brought us a showdown between Liquid and G2, and oh boy, it was fun. Let's dive into the action. And I suggest we just skip the first map. Why? Because it was a complete blowout. 13-0. Liquid just dismantled G2. I thought, like, seriously, G2, were you even guys practicing after IEM Rio, or was it some kind of a joke? 13-0. Wow. Anyways, let's move to the second map, G2's pick, Inferno. And here things got a little bit more competitive. Liquid didn't start well, they just picked up the pace only around 5-1. Luckily, they pulled themselves together just in time. They even had a shot at taking control until Malbs pulled off an insane 1v3 clutch with just 12 HP left. So we had a tie at the halftime. However, that was the last bit of fight Liquid could muster. It seemed that G2 were just so angry after the first map, they just returned the favor, closing the second half without dropping a single round. Still, Liquid did have a glimmer of hope for a comeback when JKS nearly pulled off an ace, but Snacks just shut him down in time. And finally, it was time for Mirage, which turned out to be a lot like the previous map. G2 started well. Liquid answered with a few rounds of their own, and there was some back and forth which continued until 6-6. But once again, G2 shifted gears and tore through the opposition. Liquid though had a chance to turn things around again when they nearly clinched a 2v5. But well, no, unfortunately. In the end, G2 took the series 2-1 and advanced forward while sending Liquid down to the lower bracket. And the final match of the day was Spirit versus a modified Vitality roster. Jackz himself admitted pre-match that he wasn't confident he'd perform well, having only managed 2 practice sessions with the team and playing outside his usual role. So my friends, let's see what happened to Jackz and Team Spirit. The battle kicked off on Anubis, Spirit's pick. The Dragons took the pistol round, with ease to be honest. And the second round was even smoother as Donk immediately made his mark. And not just a mark, it was a stunning ace, albeit against a force buy, but still an ace nonetheless. Spirit managed to extend their lead, but once Vitality's economy started kicking in, they put rounds on the board. At 5-5, Jackz decided to make his presence known with a triple kill and a clutch, giving Vitality a slim lead at the half. But after the side switch, Spirit stormed ahead, securing 6 rounds in a row. Although the match saw a bit of a back and forth, the Spirit closed it out 39. Next up was Mirage, Vitality's pick. Zaivu got things rolling with a quadro kill in the pistol round, and the French squad secured the 4th round that followed. But once Spirit stepped stabilized their economy, they snagged 3 rounds in a row. Vitality answered back with 2 rounds, and ZywOo nearly pulled off a difficult clutch before a nade from Jackz stopped him in his tracks. The most bizarre moment of the game and perhaps of the day came at 6-3 when Vitality miscalculated the bomb blast radius and lost their weapons in the explosion. This allowed Spirit to end the half with a 7-5 lead. From there, teams were just trading rounds. And then, at 10-10, Donk and Shiro clutched an essential round, sealing Vitality's fate on Mirage. Jackz didn't have the best performance, but considering the limited practice time, it's understandable. With this victory, Spirit moves to their kryptonite in G2 in the upper bracket final, while Vitality will go up against Liquid in an elimination match. And that's all for today, my friends. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to follow us and hit the like button, as well as to leave a comment below because it helps our channel to develop. I'm not saying goodbye for a long time, guys. See you soon.